For some people, the best day of their life was when they captured a marriage or tooted out a baby person. But for me, it was a lovely day in 2006 when the Moon Wizard gifted the tadpole version of me the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, my favorite game of all time. And this is it in its original form before they went and made it all beautiful.
For 65 years, I've ruled as Tamriel's emperor.
A man molded out of potato by a sneezing moose touches his gummy necklace and says cool foreboding words about a roasted ouchy sex worm and an army of 12 lizards and men who get the giggle dance after tonguing up a barbecue. The bird holding the camera flies into a prison window and majesty begins. For it was time to enjoy the best character creator known to man. And I conjured the most normal looking person I had ever attempted to create in this game. His name was Vandal Yompkins, and he was a wood elf with the bad eyes. A very rude elf in the opposite cell slaps his lips at me all mean for no reason.
Pretty soon you'll go mad, and the gods will cut your throat just to stop the ranting. That's right. You're going to die in here, wood elf.
What a willy blanket. Some people with swords and the moose potato from earlier hiding his naked behind the entire world of curtains approach my prison shack.
Stand back, prisoner.
They tell me to piss off away from the door and walk in.
You are the one from my dreams.
Clearly, this emperor fella eats too much ass. I don't know what I mean by that, but my face is weird, so his dreams must be bloody awful. He goes on about fate and how assassins killed his son, so he was being led out of a secret tunnel. I take a jug and throw it at the Emperor's head to see the bounce and then do a punching. It doesn't go very well and I have a nice little sleep. When I wake up, all is forgiven and I carry on following like a lost stick insect with the extra wobble. It isn't long before they get attacked by assassins and a big old fight happens. I help. Almost.
She's dead.
They tell me not to follow them, so I play with the corpse of their dead friend and take her weapon. I kill 2 rats and enter a hole, leading me to loot some useful items off of a person without skin and blood and the squishy inside bits. I tell a rat to shush, because I'm a wood elf and when I touch animals, they love me. Wait. I shoot a zombie and murder more rats and stuff with fire and that anger I've had inside me since I was a boy and I fell off that slide and everybody laughed at me. I found a very big hammer and it went nicely with my face and new metal clothes. I crept up behind a goblin and burnt his skin off. Then I took his cooking ingredients and mixed it in a mortar and pestle. I made a potion that would kick the poo out of your tongue if you were to give it a lick. I dribbled it on my hammer and used it to crumble another goblin just around the corner. Just in case a giant hammer landing into its face wasn't enough. I jumped face first into a spike. Only the Moon Wizard knows why. I make 2 more goblins cuddle some logs before meeting back up with the Emperor of Carpets and his crew who get all angry that I followed them.
Damn it! It's that prisoner again! Kill him! He might be working with the assassins.
No, he can help us.
The Emperor goes on and on about star signs because he said this would happen in that magazine he liked to read, with the pictures of the celebrity looking fat on a beach. He asked me what sign I was and naturally I said the lover, because it let me paralyze people with kissing sometimes. He proceeded to babble on about some bullshit which made me want to kiss him.
I go to my grave.
Stick close and let us do our job.
Further ahead, one of the armor twins gets spooked.
Hold up. I don't like this. Let me take a look. Looks clear. Come on.
But it was not fine, because assassins started pouring out of the walls like mellifluous danger and the Emperor gave me his gummy necklace and a speech about finding his long lost heir and important words. What does English even mean?
Find him and close shut the jaws of Oblivion.
Take them down.
Die, Imperial! Die, stranger!
Then he got stabbed in the neck and forgot how to live. We killed the assassin who did it and Mr. Excites Us got all sad because he was a failure. He gave me a key to get out of the sewers and told me to go and find his son, but I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to leave and taste the taste of freedom.
I'm guessing you're an experienced rogue.
How dare that shit? I was no mere rogue. I was a bad boy. And it was in this moment I decided I just wanted to punch everything, or set it on fire, or paralyze it, or run away very fast. Like a bad boy.
Leave the Emperor in peace.
I did try to bring the Emperor along with me, but he had eaten a whole planet of cheesecake. So heavy. I left the sewers a free man, overpowered by nostalgia and a feeling some people refer to as happiness. I hear you can have all the happiness in the world if you subscribe to Crusty and the Moon Wizard. No lies. I ran forward, spamming my new Starlight spell to level up my illusion skill for reasons. I punched a fish in the face and then engaged in scuffle time with some bandits that had nasty words to speak and lessons to learn.
You hoes are all the same. All flash and no fury.
Take that, racism. I opened their book, but I can't read, which angered me so much I leveled up my hand-to-hand. But I decided to use said skill in a way that would calm me down and slithered into their bed for only an hour. I got up and down every hour for a while and just spammed my illusion spell until my brain told me to sleep to level up. But you can't tell me what to do, brain. My actions are chosen by the wizard on the moon. I sprinted up a hill, jumping furiously to level up my athletics. This is how athletes happen. I broke into some guy's cabin and stole his cheese and pears. I got jump scared by a rock. Then I ran into an angry man who summoned a malnourished child. I beat him up and took his shoes. Soon after, I ran into a guy mourning his dead wife.
Please, I implore you, help me avenge my wife's death.
He wanted me to kill the goblins that took her from him to dance in the music of revenge. But instead, I broke into his house and tipped his carrots on the floor and did a fart on his chair and beat him up until he died, right next to his wife's grave. This is what romance is. I don't know why, but I just kept jumping and climbing mountains. I did this until I hopped into an empty camp. The fire was burning, but nobody was around, so I hurled this owner's meat and cabbages off the mountain. I slept in their bed to level up for the first time.
You sleep rather soundly for a murderer.
Some hooded weirdo paints me with wide eyes and says really nice things.
You are a killer, taker of life, a harvester of souls.
He offered me an invitation to join his family of creepy hooded weirdos, but said I would have to kill some old man called Rufio at an inn before he would.
I will reveal myself once more.
But this time consensually, because I agreed.
Excellent.
He turned into a ghost, which scared me, so I hit him and we had a fight, which ended when I touched him with my kissing hand and he disappeared. Love will always defeat evil, creepy men who watch you when you sleep. Punching also works. I threw some more meat off the mountain and made my way to find the old man. Could I really do it? Could I really butcher an innocent, maybe old man? Yes. This is the face of evil intent and naughty behavior. Of course I bloody can. I snuck through the woods towards the Inn of Ill Omen, practicing my blinding light spell. Sneakily.
Well, I'll be a spotted snow bear. A customer.
The owner was really nice and told me exactly where to find Rufio downstairs in the basement. I snuck up to the old man. Hidden by a bright light I refused not to shine. He woke up somehow and we shared a moment.
Go away.
I turned my hands into flesh hammers and gave him a pounding, but not in the sex way. I took his shoes and slept in his bed, then leveled up again.
So, the deed is done.
I awoke to a familiar weirdo standing too close and congratulating me. He welcomed me into the Dark Brotherhood family and told me to go to their sanctuary to begin my work. He turned into a ghost again, so I tried stealing his shoes. This got me kicked out of the Dark Brotherhood. The only way back in would be to defeat a wraith that would attack when I next took a snooze. Curse my bizarre need for shoes. Time to get the punishment out of the way. It attacked with the nastiest of shrieks and the battle for my soul began. It resisted my punches, so I switched to my sparkle hands. It chased me all through the inn and outside, where I kept shocking him and refilling my magicka and health with potions and food I looted from the dead earlier in my adventures. I made use of my newfound space because I have big brain and big muscles. And I did it. I defeated the creepy and was now allowed to resume my dream of becoming a Dark Brotherhood ass. Ass in lazy. I immediately traveled east behind the inn and beat at some minotaurs and stole their unicorn. It was a majestic beast, one suitable to my gigantic head. I ran with it toward the city of Cheydinhall to join my new family. When I got to the gate, the guard was very welcoming.
Greetings.
But my unicorn was depressed and slowly wandered off into the wild, where it would eventually be picked up and devoured by a very big parrot. Beauty must always end in tragedy. Inside the city walls, I crawled my beautiful big face into my favorite invisible crevice and used a hairband from the real world to keep my little legs sneaking as I went to make lunch and do a bit of a poo. It was neither the right time of day to fully maximize the effort or the right spot, as I left our hero in a rubbish place that didn't really work very well, but who cares? I ate spaghetti. I walked up to a really red door with a skull in it that asked me, "What is the color of night?" To which I said it depended on many factors, as not all nights are the same, and you also have to factor in seasons, times of year, and general location, to which the door told me just to shut up and enter. Inside, a lizard lady with a lizard face and a lizard body greeted me and gave me my new costume. I looked good. I walked past fellow members having a disagreement.
But using stealth to kill, it's just so weak.
Oh, Gogren.
It was nice to see them work it out and remain friends, but not everybody was so warm.
Get away from me.
I visited Vicente Valtieri, who had a whole vampire on his face. He gave me my first ever contract.
I'm not sure how you feel about pirates, but you've got to kill one.
It sounded easy. I left happily, with a warm feeling in my heart, knowing I had finally found people that care for me.
Get away from me.
I stood in the street and put on a show for a local beggar who had the voice of two separate men.
I'm saving up enough for some medicine. They charged me 5 gold for littering.
What the shit was he begging for? If I had the power of 2 men inside me, I would get so much done. I know what I said. I took a slight detour and ventured into the nearby chapel and met a woman who hates dogs and likes people.
I teach him to bite people.
Oh no, wait, the other one. I also spoke to a man with the angriest face I had ever seen, and a really big man who said he loved me.
I love everything and everyone. You too.
What the f*** was going on? This land was like somebody pushed a walnut cracker into my ears and squeezed out my brain and juice into a bowl with a fish that sang songs in jazz style and spat out the alphabet with a tongue like a wet helicopter hat. I love it. I walked into a shop. Ouch. I walked into a shop and met a man with the weirdest sales pitch.
I'm Damon, and I have no perfect arrows.
I made him like me lots and haggled his little nose off to get the best deal to sell my shiny treasures. Then I knocked over his pot and he shouted at me.
Put that back, you worthless thief!
Stop right there, criminal scum.
I went outside and a guard shouted at me too and demanded I pay the mighty fine of 1 gold. What was in that f***ing pot? I just gave the greedy metal man the money. I was a good bad boy. Next, I went to the Mages Guild as all the magic people slept. I danced around as a human light bulb tornado, making a big mess and a clang and a bang like a naughty toddler.
Excuse me, sir.
When the morning came, I was significantly higher level in illusion magic and purchased an invisibility spell from one of the mages. By this point, they all thought I was quite weird, but we shouldn't value their opinions. I watched them try to communicate for a while.
Hi there.
The Emperor and his 3 sons dead, right under the noses of the Imperial Guard. It's a disgrace.
Goodbye.
Bye.
It was like watching a buffalo hit itself over the head with a rolling pin and spin around in front of a mirror.
How do you do?
Well met.
Hello.
I did my new invisible and did a piss off. After all, I had a job to do. I traveled to the Imperial City waterfront to find some pirates. I met one who was quite mean.
Get near that ship and my men will run you through.
What is it?
I got my payback by hiding in a box and making them carry my big heavy head on board all sneaky. I used my new invisibility spell to sneak past the pirates on board and into the captain's quarters.
What in blazes?
I said I was there to send him to the Dreadfather. I didn't know what that meant. but I assumed it was a guy who hangs out behind the bus stop and scares children with facts about disease.
I ain't got time for this.
He did a weird pirate voice and we started fighting. The fight went well. Because I won. In his pockets was a copy of the Lusty Argonian Maid. Horny little bastard. I read it, of course. I liked the bit about her polishing a big spear. Penis.
Captain Tussaud, are you all right, sir?
His shipmates heard the commotion and violently banged against the door. They came into the room and got their swords out and started poking them at me. I stole the shiny from the captain's chest and went through his back door to escape into the water, where I got all wet. One of them chased me until he stopped, because I killed him. I tried taking his shoes, but somebody beat me to it.
Hello, my brother.
I told the vampire the deed was done and he gave me a ring, so I think I'm married now. My next contract was to kill a wood elf in his home in the city of Bruma, whilst avoiding his manservant. Why not just say servant? Unless he was actually a servant who served him men. I'll wash my hands when I'm done. I lockpicked my way into the target's basement and threw his jug on the floor. I crept upstairs and used my invisible fingers to hide from the bonk conjurer. I waited for the target to sit on his favorite chair and then snuck around and crushed him with the head of a minotaur. His guard friend had absolutely no idea what to do. Easy.
Back for more? Your target is a dark elf named Valen Dreth. He thinks he's safe in prison. I think you know the way,
That was me! How did he know? That suspicious little rascal. He had gifted me the gift of dropping vengeance upon that mouthy little elf bitch from earlier.
You're going to die.
So I went back to where it all began and I punched that fish in the face. I entered the sewers and crept back along my footsteps, or at least I tried to, but the door was closed, so I went another way and beat up rats and crabs and fish who wanted to evolve. I lockpicked a ladder and re-entered the location of the Emperor's demise.
Those assassins got what they wanted. The Emperor is dead. They got no reason to come back.
I listened to some guards do a blabber and snuck past them with magic, and haha. One of the conditions for the bonus for this mission was to not kill any guards, and this would be easy. I hoped for a toaster, or a duck. Unfortunately, I sneezed and got distracted by a noise outside of my window place, so I didn't see the guard walking up to me until he started shouting and trying to stab me. He chased me through the ruins until my invisibility spell recharged and I used it to lose him and carry on. Unfortunately, again, he did not give up and followed me anyway. I got fed up and just decided I would rather he be dead, so I killed him and took his shoes. I snuck back into my cell just as lonely as I left it. The target was bumping some real mad poo-poo to a guard.
But I'm getting out, and you'll still be stuck in here. Yeah!
I watched, and I waited. The guard left, and I made my approach.
Wait, I know you.
He remembered me, but tried being all friendly.
Come on, friend.
I remained silent. I quietly unlocked his cell door and then he launched at me, that angry little rabbit. We did some fist dancing until I went invisible again and he lost me. I turned my hands into a flesh hammer and ended his days. He lay there dead, my tormentor, no life and no shoes. I escaped right under the guards' noses and even did a poo on their desk. I was so good, or so I thought. The poo was a poo too far.
Break the law on my watch, will you? It's off to the lockup then.
I immediately got caught and thrown back into the same prison I escaped from at the beginning. What was the point? I had a dream last night where the Moon Wizard told me that more people needed to like, subscribe, and comment nice things on the videos or another planet would come along and really f Earth up with the boxing and the taekwondo. Do with that information as you please. Moon Wizard bless you and see you next time.